today, we will see how it's worth the work by using two different strategies to locate our hit on the same pattern. So I do encourage you to pay close attention, and I also encourage you to share this information with others that you know that plays pick 3. Right now, we're looking at the state of Michigan. Michigan is a state with 2 drawings a day, 7 days a week. And what we have is June 2020, the evening drawing overall column results. Okay, so if you've been with me since the beginning, you already know what this is. The number on the left-hand side represents each and every day for the month of June. The number on the right represents which column that played for that specific day. Now you may refer to columns as the hit sum. I recommend that you wait 13 to 15 days and allow for your state to manifest a pattern. See which column they're playing from the most. See which column they're playing from the least. And see which column is not playing at all. And this will help you minimize your combination selections and also prepare you for bigger hits. Now I'd like to point out there is a column that did not play on the evening drawing of June, okay? If you can locate which column that did not play, can you please leave it in the comments below? So as we can see that on the 1st of June, they played from the 9 column. And on the 2nd of June, they played from the 5 column. On the 3rd of June, the 9 column came right back. And on the 4th of June, the 3 column followed. Okay, on the 10th of June, they played from the 9 column again. And on the 11th, the 2 column followed. Okay, towards the end of the month, they played from the 9 column on the 26th. And on the 27th, the 3 column followed. Okay, sometimes you will have these type of patterns. So it's very important to monitor exactly what your state is doing. Okay, so if I was playing this drawing on the 26th when the 9 column came back, I definitely would have considered combinations coming from column 3, column 5, and column 2, okay, because of what happened earlier in the month. Okay, so for this, we decided to use a tic-tac-toe workout, okay? If you're familiar with tic-tac-toe, using mirror numbers and flip numbers. So if you're familiar with mirror numbers, you know how they pair up. And if you're familiar with flip numbers, you know how they pair up. So we took the combination from the day before that played on the 26th, okay? 5, 8, 6 from column 9. Okay, and we put it in the first row of the tic-tac-toe grid going straight down. In the second row, we put the mirror number of each individual number that played on the 26th. We put the mirror number in the second row of the tic-tac-toe grid. So for the number 5, the mirror number is 0. For 8, the mirror number is 3. For 6, the mirror number is 1. So that completed the second row of the tic-tac-toe grid. In the third row, we put the flip number of each individual number that played on the 26th in the third row. So for the number 5, the flip number is 8. For 8, the flip number is 1. And for 6, the flip number is 9. So this completed our tic-tac-toe grid, okay? So I knew that I was going to be looking for combinations coming from column 5, column 3, and column 2, okay, according to the patterns that I saw earlier in the month. Okay, now remember, each individual column has 22 combinations. So I want to make sure I can find all the combinations I can from all 3 of these columns in this tic-tac-toe grid. A total of 66 combinations I'm looking for in this tic-tac-toe grid. So for column 5, I found 113, and we know that the numbers have to be touching, okay? So out of 22 combinations, this was the only combination I can find from column 5 in this tic-tac-toe workout. For column 3, I found 508 straight across and 139, okay? So out of 22 combinations from column 3, those were the only 2 that I could find. Okay, from column 2, I found 011, a double, and 138. Okay, so out of 22 combinations for column 2, those were the only 2 that I can find. Okay, so if I was going to use this strategy, I definitely would have played all 5 of these combinations from all 3 of these columns, okay, according to the pattern that I saw earlier in the month. It was worth a try, okay, to see if this would work. And sure enough, on the 27th, they played 193 right here. Okay? So this definitely would have been a hit for me. Probably a nice hit, because I probably would have played all 5 of these combinations more than one time. Okay? Now it could be that easy if you monitor exactly what your state is doing. Okay? Look for similar patterns. Okay? Now we have blue X's by certain dates that played certain columns, okay, in the month of June. And we're going to use this to our advantage for the second strategy, okay, to locate the same hit that played on the 27th with 193, okay. These blue X's by these dates and the columns that were played are very important for the next strategy, okay. So let's look at this next strategy. Now for this strategy, we'll be using the date sum, okay? So if you're familiar with the date sum strategy, you already know what this is. Okay, so the date that we would have been playing, according to the pattern, would have been the 27th of June. Okay, so we have that date up here at the top. So June is the 6th month of the year, and we're playing the 27th day. So we take the month and the day and we add it together, and that gives us our date sum. Okay, you always take the number that is in the ones position. So if you're using this strategy and you add the month and the day and it gives you a double digit total, you always take the number that is in the ones position. Okay, so in this case it's the number 3. So I knew that I was going to take the number 3 and look for all the combinations from column 5, column 3, and column 2 that had the number 3 in it, okay? Out of 22 combinations from each one of these columns, I wanted every combination that had the number 3 in it, okay? Now, if you wanted to play all these combinations, which is a total of 17, that will be totally up to you. But observing and understanding my overall column results, okay, I told you before, the blue X's, we were going to get back to that, okay, those certain dates and those columns that were played, okay. So these blue X's represent every time they use the date sum in the combination throughout the month, okay, when they played that certain combination. Now another thing to point out is some of these dates are the same exact days of the week. Okay, so for this case, the 13th was a Saturday. Okay, so if they was going to use the date sum with that pattern on the 27th, the 27th was a Saturday also. So that would have been another reason to consider using the date sum strategy. Okay, this is why it's very important to monitor exactly what your state is doing and having the overall column results. Okay, so after pulling out all the combinations with the number 3 in it from all of these 3 columns, I noticed that the same combinations that were in my Tic-Tac-Toe workout from earlier match. Okay? All 3 of those combinations from column 2, column 3, and column 5, 311, 319, 381, were in that Tic-Tac-Toe workout that I did earlier. So I definitely would have played all 3 of these combinations, okay? And maybe only these 3, okay? It was worth a shot to see if it would work after using 2 different strategy methods, okay, to locate my hit, okay, according to the patterns that happened earlier in the month. And sure enough, column 3, 319, okay, the hit 27th, 193. So this definitely would have been a hit for me using either strategy. Okay, now it could be that easy if you're willing to do the work. Okay, monitor exactly what your state is doing. Learn to minimize those combination selections. Prepare for the big hit. If you found this information useful, I do encourage you to share with others that you know that plays Pick 3 and also uses Pick 3 strategies. Always remember, it's always better to give than receive. And the more you learn, the more you earn. Take care, everybody.